Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Today is the 19th of August, year of our Lord 2024. Welcome to yet another edition of The Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Hinkle, a.k.a. Moton No. I got a big show for you guys today. Starting your week off with a nice edition of The Coping Hour, presented by nobody yet. Still haven't gotten Newport on the line. Haven't heard back from Mint Mobile. I haven't reached out to them, but I just have not heard from them. So what does Ernie Johnson say? It's one of my favorite lines of his. I think it's when they do Who He Play For, unsullied by sponsorship, is what he always says. This show is more or less exists in the same way. Hey, there's a lot of housekeeping that we got to do up top. So the first thing that I want to say, usually when I say, hey, if you can hear this thing in the background, sorry about that. You usually can't. There's a guy with a megaphone outside of our house, because we live next to a park, big like family reunion or something going on, big megaphone thing happening right now. So if that picks up at any point, you'd think it's almost after hours. The park closes at 9. We're taping this at 8:30. So if it does end up being a problem, then rest assured it won't be an issue for too long. Hey, and then another thing that may disrupt the flow of today's episode, I have no idea if it will. Not diarrhea. We're not doing that again. Luckily, my stomach is solid. It's been structurally sound. No, but like 2.5 hours ago, my father-in-law texted me, and it's a man that I have a great deal of respect for. And he was like, "Hey, just doing a check-in. Haven't heard from you in a while." He's like, "You mind if I give you a phone call?" Just kind of wants to see what's up. I was like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." So he's like, "You want to do it tomorrow?" I go, "I got time tonight. Let's just do it tonight." So he goes, "Okay." He goes, "I'm just, got some stuff going on the grill." He's like, "I'll give you a call after." I go, "That sounds great." That was 2.5 hours ago. And so I'm thinking, I got a show to tape, and I have to be up at a reasonable time in the morning. Usually wake up at like 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7 every single morning, start to get the day started with our son. So I'm like, I gotta get this damn show in the can. He hasn't called. And I just haven't reached out to be like, "Hey, are you going to call me?" Because I don't want to seem like I'm inconvenienced by it and be like, "Hey, are you going to call?" So I'm just, if there's an abrupt stop in the show, I mean, you'll know because I'll say if it happens. But hashtag father-in-law watch. We are on father-in-law watch. Like if there's like it's kind of like when you live in the Midwest, you live in Tornado Alley, and that time of year where every other day there's a tornado warning or there's a tornado watch. I guess I should have done the reverse of that. But we're on father-in-law watch right now. Not quite warning. There hasn't been a sighting, but he might call. "Hey, I've spent a lot of time on this. What do you say we jump into the meat and potatoes?" And say, "No, we can't because we're not done with housekeeping. We're not done cleaning the house. Hold on." Hey, so Coping Hour merch went live in Friday's episode. We did a brief little introduction to all of the merchandise available over at thecopinghour.com. The link will be available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. Still haven't figured out actually if hyperlinks work on Spotify. So again, even if they don't, the words, at least the text, will still be there, and it'll also be available in the description on YouTube. Again, it's just thecopinghour.com. So I wanted to say some stuff about the merch because something weird happened this morning. One of the hats, the beautiful, beautiful dad hat, was just like taken off the store. I don't know why. I didn't do anything. It was just not there anymore. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I checked my email and I checked my spam to see if there's any communication on this. Like, did they remove this? Like, why isn't this here? There was nothing. I don't know why it got removed. So I just like remade it and then just added it to the store. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because some of you had ordered that hat. I don't know what the protocol here is. I don't know if check your emails is basically what I'm saying. I don't know if maybe the orders got canceled because people did order the hat and then it just got straight up removed from the store. Like, it's not even in an archive. Like, I don't know where it is. I did not do anything. So if you did order that hat, just keep an eye out for that. Again, I don't know how to remedy that. To be honest with you, I have no idea. But if there are any issues, let me know. Hey, and then samples. I said I was going to give you guys an update on samples just in case you did want to wait for us to do a quality check here at the Coping Hour. We are starting to figure out what we were doing wrong in the past, and now we figured out that we can actually order samples, but it's just really expensive. So We'll see. We'll do it like slowly but surely, one at a time. So the reason that I'm saying this is we're not going to be able to order everything and quality check it. There's just no way. It's just going to be hundreds of dollars. Just no fucking way. So as you receive them at home, as you are listening to this, I ask of you, in a few weeks' time, when everything hits your doorsteps, send in some photos. And I don't care if like it's a bad look and I want to know if the quality is good or not. So all my little frontline soldiers out there, when you guys get in your Coping Hour merch, send in some photos. The Coping Hour email is copingoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email also available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. Is that going to do it? Is that going to do it up top? I think so. So let's talk a little bit about what I forgot to mention in Friday's episode. Because I said that, I was like, damn, I'm getting to the end of this. This is a spiel that I forgot to do. I remembered what it was. It was just the fact that Jrue Holiday, now Sneaky, might have like my favorite resume. So Jrue Holiday, after becoming a gold medal winner for Team USA, that's his second gold medal, by the way. The last time he won a gold medal was in 2021, a year that he won a championship, by the way. So both times that Jrue Holiday won a gold medal, it was the same year that he won a championship. And remember, in 2021, it wasn't even just that. It was that Game 6 in Milwaukee ends. And how long after? Was it like 48 hours? If that. It may have even been sooner than that. Later, that Devin Booker, Jrue Holiday, and Chris Middleton are all on a private jet getting flown out to Tokyo. They just played each other in the finals. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But anyways, back to his resume. So, okay, he's a two-time NBA champion. He's a two-time gold medalist. He's also a two-time All-Star, 2013 and 2023. He's 10 years apart. What's more impressive? And this is, in a vacuum, this is going to sound really dumb, but, you'll know what I mean by this. What's more impressive? A dude who makes the All-Star team 10 years in a row, or the guy who does it twice in the span of 10 years, and it's like on the dot. So like once literally every 10 years, and he's only done it twice. Okay, I've really fumbled the delivery on that one. But like there's something to be said about the longevity is really all that I'm getting at there. You're going to say, well, yeah, Nick, but you would rather the guy who's literally an all-star every single year for those 10 years. Sure, 100%. But in the middle of those 10 years, he was also a three-time all-defensive first team and three-time second team. He was also a teammate of the year 3 times and sportsmanship award winner in 2021. Also California Mr. Basketball in 2008. Like Jrue Holiday, surely we got the list in here somewhere when we did the segment of active Hall of Famers currently in the NBA. Damn, I just don't remember where. It all stays in the show. That's how we do it around here. I get that, but nah, I just wanted to see if I wrote down. You know what? I do need to find this. Oh my God, I found it. Holy shit. At the 11th hour, I found it. God, that was such bad podcasting. I'm really sorry about that. Jrue Holiday is on our active Hall of Famers list. I found it. So for old time's sake, if you weren't around when we did this episode, this was about a couple months ago, we did active Hall of Famers. It was two separate episodes, one for the East and one for the West. Let's just read through the list really quick. Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, maybe, Paulo Banchero, Jalen Brunson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Jrue Holiday, Cade Cunningham, Kyle Lowry, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Rudy Gobert, CJ McCollum, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Tyronn Lue, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama. Now, I know it's hard when I just read a bunch of names at you to, like, clock a bunch of them and then try to have grabs. And you also listen to all that. Ty Lue we put on there as the only coach. The truth is that there are going to be other coaches that are, like Greg Popovich, Eric Spoelstra. We could, so I don't know why we only put Ty Lue on there, but hey, whatever. So not the most comprehensive list, but also kind of makes you think, God damn, how bad is the Hall of Fame that there are this many guys that are currently in it? Sure, the NBA is just really good for sure. But we did have Jrue Holiday in there. So shout out to us for having the foresight to do that. The only thing that he didn't have, I guess, when we would have made that list was a gold medal, a second gold medal. That is. So shout out to Jrue Holiday. And honestly, shout out to Lauren Holiday, too. That was that. Oh, and then speaking of Team USA and Hall of Fame coaches. So Steve Kerr, it sounds like he's done with Team USA. He's moving on to bigger and better things. Mainly just like being retired and not doing anything anymore and like just like relaxing. So that's Eric Spoelstra's job if he wants it. All he has to do is say that he wants it, right? And that's a layup. Because if that job is sort of, it's reserved for like the most prestigious basketball mind of the time. Think about the last few. Coach K, Steve Kerr, Popovich has been, he was in there. Boeheim had some run, maybe just as an assistant. But that's the other part of it is you look at the assistants. And it's like basketball royalty. If you're like on the Team USA bench, you're like basketball royalty, right? Well, Eric Spoelstra is like kind of the dude right now. It's like just kind of his whole deal. So, and by all accounts, everybody loves him. Wow, there's a fun little mental exercise. Trying to think of one negative Eric Spoelstra anecdote. And what was the thing about, was it their summer league team that was coached by a fucking former video coordinator? What is this pipeline that the Miami Heat, what is this like infinite Hall of Fame head coach glitch that they've discovered where it's like, oh yeah, it's like you gotta make a video coordinator mine, and then you gotta harvest that, and then it's like an AFK farm, and then you hire them, and then you just go away for a little bit, and you set up a macro so that your console doesn't go to sleep, and then fucking 15 years later you just have a Hall of Fame coach. What the fuck is this that Miami's doing? This isn't fair. So okay, he's probably gonna be Team USA's coach. Do you wonder how does this shape Team USA moving forward? Because if Steve Kerr's not there anymore, if you're Jason Tatum and you're Jaylen Brown, are you like, whoa? Although if you're Jaylen Brown, you would also need, because the fish rots from the head, and his beef right now isn't with Steve Kerr. If anything, I think Jaylen Brown is actually probably in the good graces of Steve Kerr, or maybe I have that backwards. Because he bitched Jason Tatum during the Olympics. So his problem is with Grant Hill. When I say the fish rots from the head, it's the president of basketball operations. So Steve Kerr can leave all he wants. That's good for Jason Tatum, but who already has a gold medal, by the way, right? I think he does, and Jaylen Brown does, right? No. They have. Don't do this, Nick. You're gonna confuse yourself. Don't do the thing where you're like, FIBA is the Olympics, because it's not. Because it's fucking not. All right, let's jump into some emails. copingoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. Brother, I got to tell you, I just sat here in silence for about 2.5 minutes because I could not find this email that I wanted to read. And then I remembered something. Greg. This one comes into us from Greg. Greg, welcome to the show. Actually, you say in the email it's your second time emailing. I don't know if I apologize. I don't remember if I read the first one or not. Welcome back to the show. But this actually wound up in my spam. So usually Google does they're really efficient with filtering out all the spam. Now this is just like a normal guy. This is a normal guy who sent in like a normal email, and he just wound up in spam. So Greg, sorry about that, but I caught it, brother. I caught it. Subject line, off-season content, USA National Treasures. Hi, Nick. Mid-length listener, second-time emailer, was thinking whilst driving yesterday about what we call national treasures in the United Kingdom. National treasures are often debated and a great topic of conversations, but the categories I would consider a national treasure to be are an A or B list celebrity. They have to be liked by at least 90% of people who know them. They embody generally British values. Doesn't piss off for American fame. They have to have been in the spotlight for at least 10-ish years. Because of these categories, our national treasures are often not politicians and rarely athletes unless huge names. Some undebatable national treasures that you might know are David Attenborough, or now you've only wrote Judi Dench here just to break the email. But let's get our shit off. It's Dame Judi Dench. Because it would be like if you wrote Ian McKellen. then I will put a hand on your chest and I will say, it is Sir Ian McKellen. But anyways, back to the email. As you've been feeling very patriotic recently, I thought you might like to think about the American national treasures. None sprang to mind instantly for me, but then I think if you deem Scott Hansen famous enough, he would definitely fit the categories. Also, bonus question, you could maybe think of some national disgraces that are the opposite of these categories. It would be easy to say Prince Andrew for this, but he's not disliked for his personalities. He's disliked as he's a criminal. Yes, he is a criminal. I would say James Corden, and then parenthetically, keep him, and Simon Cowell, parenthetically, keep him and his Botox. For me, keep up the good work, fellas. Thank you for this email, Greg. Hey, here's what I'll say. We'll take James Corden. We'll take Simon Cowell. I actually agree with you on the Simon Cowell thing, because the James Corden thing, but the Botox for Simon Cowell. But he just has too much real estate in my brain and my heart for American Idol for like the mid to late 2000s. But anyways, so we'll keep them, but we get Idris Elba. We get to keep him. So it's like Simon Cowell and James Corden are the salary, but like James Corden, I'm spending too much time on this. I consulted the inner circle about this, and we talked about this very briefly. Now, Scott Hansen, I would love to put on the list of national treasures for America. Unfortunately, he is not famous enough. As good and quality of television as Red Zone is, unfortunately, I would be lying to myself. Now, that's the important part here, is in the past, when we do segments like this, we do lists like this, namely when we did the top 7 Americans of all time, like a week or two ago, I think... I'll just say this. I thought it was clear what we were doing. I thought it was a bit. I wanted to take this one a little bit more seriously, though. With my own little twist on it. Oh, shit, but now I got it. Okay, we're good. All right, so I wanted to allow myself to draft 2 living and 2 dead national treasures, American national treasures. I also get to draft 1 movie. I don't know why, but I just wanted to draft an American National Treasure movie. Not like a National Treasure movie. I'm not it's in the cure to cancer. It's in the Constitution. It's the vaccines. It's in the Constitution. And then I will also be soft drafting 2 American disgraces. Hey, Greg, one note that we had on your National Treasures. My consultant wondered if we could add Emily Blunt. It was just a note that I wanted to pass along. So let's talk about it. You guys want me to just read you my big board and then we can talk about it? So this is this is living and dead. Okay, this is living and dead. American national treasures. Danny DeVito, Keanu Reeves. Is Keanu Reeves American? Whoa. Where was Keanu Reeves born? Whoa, what the fuck? Whoa, he's not American? Do I have to call an audible? Okay, we're going to kick out Keanu Reeves and we're going to put out, just to cover our bases here, just in case. Keanu Reeves out, Norm Macdonald in. So Danny DeVito, Norm Macdonald, Betty White, Dolly Parton, Henry Winkler, Tom Hanks, Morgan Freeman, Bob Ross, Shaq, Nicolas Cage, Serena Williams, Simone Biles, Will Ferrell, and Robin Williams. How's that one? Kind of want to put Chris Farley in here. Kind of want to put him in here. Nah, I've already put Norm Macdonald. Okay, so the Danny DeVito thing, he is... Well, first of all, It's Always Sunny helps a lot. It's more a shape thing. It's absolutely a personality thing, but it's also the shape of him that is... Okay, so that sort of makes him very endearing to people. Norm Macdonald, I don't need to do my Norm Macdonald. Betty White has to be... Ooh. On the Mount Rushmore of people who are famous that you were like, there was an entire generation who were like, of people who were like, oh, that's the famous old lady. Like, she was just the famous old lady. You know what I mean? Like, the white hair, she was instantly recognizable. You always, oh, that's Betty White. Even if you didn't know Golden Girls, you didn't know any of that bullshit, you just knew that's the famous old lady. And then she made it to, like, 99? Or did she make it to 100? I feel like she, like, maybe was on the doorstep of 99. And she didn't even seem old. She didn't even, although there was actually one point, they did a really good job of, as soon as she did start to seem old, they like kind of hid her, and they're like, okay, she needs to not be in the public, and she needs to just sort of go through this. This is you know what I mean? So okay, that's a sweetheart, and then you talk about national sweethearts, although that's not what the prompt was. It was not national sweethearts, it was national treasures. Stay on the road, Nick. Dolly Parton. Music stuff aside, I know a lot of you out there get real riled up over billionaires. You guys, billionaires, it's unethical. Nobody should have that much money. Dolly Parton recognizes this. Dolly Parton always donates like just enough money, just the right amount of money to never officially become a billionaire. Sort of one of those anecdotes that you've heard like anecdotally through like 3 or 4 different people. But she's definitely on the list. Henry Winkler. You're not familiar with the Fonz? Google him. Oh, I guess some of you, even if you didn't know Henry Winkler is like the Fonz, then you would have known, or you didn't know him from like Waterboy, then you definitely would have known him because like the Gen Z thing would be Barry. And then if you don't know him from anything, I don't know. Tom Hanks. Come on. I don't want to spoil anything. Forrest Gump is one of the movies that we will be discussing. Tom Hanks also in, I don't want to just, well, do we just we'll save maybe Tom Hanks for later, because we got some shit to talk about. We got some stuff to unpack with Tom Hanks. Morgan Freeman. What's American about Morgan Freeman? Just that he is the most recognizable voice that we have in our culture. And he is American. Bob Ross. Sneaky might not have been American. Is he Canadian? Where was Bob Ross born? I don't think that motherfucker was American. I don't think he was American. He's born in Daytona Beach, Florida. Like I said, okay, that's what I thought. He was born in Florida. So he's an American. Yeah, Happy Little Trees. I never painted with him. I'm sure some of you out there probably have. Not like, no, with him. You know what I mean. It's Bob Ross. You knew exactly what I mean. I don't need to get on my own case about that. Shaq is actually sort of the opposite of Danny DeVito in term when you think about the half of the bit is half of the charm is the size, the portions of you as a man. And when you're able to lean into that in a way that a Shaq or that a Danny DeVito does, where like Shaq will be like, oh yeah, put me in a small car because it'll look really funny, or like jump over me, like use me as a prop because like it'll be cool. Because I'm big as fuck, like I'm Shaq. And Danny DeVito's like, yeah, I want to be butt-ass naked and lathered up with grease and sweat and stuff me in a couch. And then I want to birth myself from the couch. Grandma, I'm not being crass just to be crass. That happened in an episode of television that aired on a network. So when you lean into that, all right, so Shaq is just, also he's just fucking Shaq. Nicolas Cage, we're talking about national treasures. Was I not going to put the guy on the fucking list? Also has kind of had like such a fascinating revival to his career. The same way that a Shaq or a Danny DeVito embraces their figure, their frame, a Nicolas Cage embraced because like the meta turn that his career has had. Actually I think it's on one of the streamers now. I think it's on Peacock. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I saw it in theaters a couple of years ago. I was like the only motherfucker in there because it is a movie that's literally just about Nicolas Cage, like being Nicolas Cage, and like Pedro Pascal is like, I love Nicolas Cage. Like I fucking love Nicolas Cage. I don't love Nicolas Cage. I've still never seen National Treasure or any of those fucking movies or anything that like, I've never seen those movies. The Mummy, I know it's not Nicolas Cage, but like the Brendan Fraser thing, I just think of it in the same light. Mummy and all that shit. I don't know about Brendan Fraser like that. Like I saw Journey to the Center of the Earth when it was out. I'm getting sidetracked here. But anyways, Nicolas Cage, very meta turn to his career. Dream Scenario was cool. It was, I wish it resonated with me more, but narratively, what it was at its core, I thought, just how unique it was is really what I appreciated. Even if it didn't actually do as much for me as I wanted it to, I did really, really appreciate that movie. Okay, Serena Williams. Yeah, if I put Rihanna on the top 7 Americans list for playing the Super Bowl, the halftime of a Super Bowl pregnant, then Serena Williams also has to be on this list. Simone Biles. I can't put Michael Phelps because he was fucking tarnished by weed. Not that that actually matters, right? But it does when you're talking about people as national treasures, and that culturally like mattered that to people that he like smoked weed. They were like, because that was in a time when like, dog, if you told me like 10-year-old me in 2008 that Michael Phelps was smoking weed, I would have cried. I would have like balled up in a fetal position and would have been like shaking and shitting and throwing and sliding down the wall and fucking crying and throwing up. Michael Phelps smokes weed. What are you talking about? This cannot be the truth. And 10-year-olds now would be like, no Riz, Giat. Like, what the fuck? What did you just say? What the fuck did you just say? I said Michael Phelps smokes weed. And you were like, gritty shake. I don't know. Not gritty shake. What the Grimace shake? Fuck. Oh, and don't even get me started on Grimace, piece of shit. I hate that fucking guy. Because if you Google what he is, it's like that he's a taste bud. And don't get me started on this. You don't want to hear this from me. Will Ferrell being on this list, I think maybe, god damn, this segment has been brutal. Will Ferrell being on this list, you talk about a guy whose career, Will Ferrell will never not be the man, ever. He will, any room that he walks into for the rest of his life, it will be like a presence, like a real, oh my god, this guy is in the room. But like, when's the last time I don't know how to say this in a way that isn't disrespectful, just because that's just kind of who I am, like by nature. I don't know how to say, but he just hasn't done anything funny in a really long time. And I've tried like pretty much everything to like, and you even see him come out for the Tom Brady roast, and he like does the Anchorman thing. He's Ron Burgundy and everybody loses their mind, which they should, because that rules, but like, it wasn't really that funny. And then he did the same thing for the last roast that they did, which was Justin Bieber. And that was at this point, what, 6 years ago? Those were years ago. It was a while ago. He came out, did Ron Burgundy. Everybody lost their minds, which they should have. But it just like wasn't funny. And so it's like kind of ever since like him and Adam McKay broke up and they stopped doing shit and putting out movies under the Gary Sanchez umbrella, that it just kind of... But when you think about Will Ferrell in this greater pantheon and, you know, the run of like Old School and like Step Brothers and Anchorman and Talladega Nights and the other guys, and just like boom, 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 and how rapid fire it was. And even if there were some in there that were like kind of fine, but like kind of okay, but like kind of weird, like Land of the Lost and like Semi-Pro, although that was pretty decent, actually. The guy was just like, he was comedy movies for a while. But it's weird in retrospect, it wasn't even almost even that long. It's just how high volume he was. If you also think about a movie like Kicking and Screaming, Elf, like he hit everything. He did everything. He did sports movies. He did like serious movies. Everything Must Go. He's done family movies like Daddy's Home. Dog, he's done everything. And he's done some of the best at it in their respective genres. You know what I mean? So Will Ferrell, damn, I really talked myself into this one. Definitely on the list. Robin Williams. The day that Robin Williams passed away, I watched my friend die medically. I think. It's kind of a heavy thing to just drop in the middle of a show. I don't know. I don't want that to affect some of you. So I won't explain the story, but I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not kidding. I watched it was I don't like that I said that, because you guys are going to I'm kind of kidding. It was a lot funnier than I'm making it sound, but I did. And to this day, every time that, it was been 8 years since Robin Williams passed away, I'm just like, wow, I watched my friend Quentin die and then immediately resuscitate himself just through like power of will and like spite and anger. And then he tried to beat up my friend who killed him. But we were like, stop, you're being fucking lame. And then he tried to kick us out of his house. Why don't I set the stage? I gotta explain the story at this point. So we were doing the thing that you do with your boys when you're in fucking high school, late middle school, early high school, we're like, oh, you fell asleep first? You're getting fucked with. That's just what you're getting fucked with. And guess what? I was the one who always fell asleep first. So I was the one who always got fucked with. So it was honestly really nice just to be on the other side of it. You're damn right I was excited. You're damn right. So we were just like... we were all doing this to the kid whose house we were at, by the way. So he was the one who fell asleep first. All right, I don't care if it's your house. You fell asleep first. What the fuck? We're 13. So we were just like stacking coasters on his face. And then eventually, yeah, he fucking moves and it falls over and it collapses. And we all like sprint into the other room and like slam the door. And he like doesn't come after us. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, that was weird. Like, what is he doing? Like, we thought he'd be mad. He just like let that happen. And would he just go back to sleep? Like, okay. He's a really rageful guy. I don't know. It's weird that he just let it happen. Okay. So the second that we go back out to see if he's like still like, what the fuck is he doing? The friend who was the one who like tipped it over, who like put the last one on there, gets like up to the couch that the kid was sleeping on. And he turns around. He's like, he's not here. And I swear to God, it was as he was done saying here, that the kid sprints out of a corner fucking screaming, tackles our friend, and like is trying to like fuck with him and like beat him up and shit. So my friend just like goes into fucking fight or flight, and like he's a fucking Marine. He like gets his kid. I probably should have used names because I keep saying my friend and the kid. So the kid who did not get fucked with has the kid who got fucked with in a headlock and kills him dead. He chokes him. He's not alive anymore. And we like listen to him make some sounds and he's like dead. And so he just kind of like, my friend just like puts him on the ground and then he just like World War Z's back to life and fucking gets back up and charges the mound. And we're like, fucking chill out. And then he chills out and he goes upstairs. We're like, what the fuck just happened? He just died, right? That he was just dead. First it was Robin Williams. Now it's Quentin. What the fuck just happened? And then it's like, and this is all at like 3 a.m, by the way. And so then he like comes downstairs and he's like, hey, so, I'm going to need you all to get the fuck out of my house. And I was like, all right. Damn, bro. Fine. So we got out of it. So who was fucked up there? Can I get a ruling? So who was fucked up there? I don't know how you could possibly give a ruling on that. Okay, let's get back to the segment. Fuck, I got to pick now. I got to draft now. All right, those were all of your... I really waited till the end to just complete. And now you're like, so who was on the list? You just named all of them and then just... Okay, so sure. Let's do the list one more time. Danny DeVito, Norm Macdonald, Betty White, Dolly Parton, Henry Winkler, Tom Hanks, Morgan Freeman, Bob Ross, Shaquille O'Neal, Nicolas Cage, Serena Williams, Simone Biles, Will Ferrell, Robin Williams. And I can only draft 2 of them. We're going to go with Tom Hanks and Norm Macdonald. We're going to draft Tom Hanks and Norm Macdonald as our 2 living... No, what the fuck? Tiger Woods. And by the way, Michael Jordan does belong on this list. He's just not on here. He actually does. I don't think LeBron does. But Michael legit does. Fuck it. We'll just do Tom Hanks and Will Ferrell. 2 American national treasures who are alive. And 2 dead. We'll do Norm Macdonald for me, and we'll do Bob Ross for my grandma. Now for the movie, all right, let's talk about national treasure movies, but not those piece of shit Nicolas Cage ones, which I've never seen, and I never will. I wrote Forrest Gump, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Independence Day, The Patriot, Saving Private Ryan, and The Sandlot. Now, The Sandlot was a late addition from our inner circle. I thought that was a dynamite one. The Sandlot is a dynamite one. Because that's just like, actually, it's like motherfuckers in Azerbaijan aren't like, let's watch The Sandlot. Let's watch that baseball movie. Probably not. Saving Private Ryan. Nick, why is that why? Just because they're following an American unit? Yes. Yeah. And shout out to Tom Hanks, because these are this, Sully, where he's flying the plane into the river, and then damn Captain Phillips. It's something about Tom Hanks being in charge of like this greater conglomerate as an American leader that he just can't turn these roles down. Mr. Rogers, by the way, probably belonged on the list of national treasures, but also played by Tom Hanks in the fucking Mr. Rogers biopic. He's got his fingerprints in everything. Saving Private Ryan. No, it was not only Americans that were on the beaches on D-Day. No, it was not only Americans. But that's the perspective that we're shown in the movie. So damn it, that's an American movie. Okay. The Patriot. I have maintained for a while that Roland Emmerich is a good stats, bad team type of director. He's just like super high volume and like, but The Patriot fucking rules. The Patriot rules, and is one of those roles where you can actually appreciate Mel Gibson. You could be like, also, I will say, Sneaky was good, and what was it, like Daddy's Home 3? Which one was Mel Gibson in? He kind of ruled in that movie, and that was after he started being racist. I guess, hey. Actually, I put Independence Day on here, too. I talk about Roland Emmerich and how he's a good stats, bad team director, but Independence Day, and that is just through virtue of the name. Yeah, the name, and also the fact that a movie where the White House gets blown up should be on this list. So you would then also have to put White House down on here. Olympus Has Fallen, all of that shit. Ferris Bueller, I don't know if is inherently American, but but it is. I don't need to explain it. It just kind of is. You know what the guy and then Forrest Gump? I don't even need to. It's fucking Forrest Gump. What are you talking about? That's as American as it gets. It's as American as it gets. I only get to draft one of these. Has to be Forrest Gump. We're gonna draft Forrest Gump. Now for the Disgraces, this one's tricky because I don't know for movies because you could also do like American Sniper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There are better ones than that, than like war movies. Honestly, it's a bigger indictment on how I view the country that the only ones that came to mind were war movies. Movies that I think best represent America. And I was like, war movies? 2 Disgraces. You know, you could put like Edward Snowden on this list. You could. But he's not a disgrace. He's not. He's like an enemy of the state in the eyes of the government. That's how he's recognized. That's how he's labeled. If you try to get in through TSA, even if the TSA agent doesn't think that he's a bad guy, the government does, and so does a TSA agent. And guess what, buddy? You're going to fucking jail. But he's not a bad guy just because the government thinks that he is. And, well, okay, yeah, sure. In the eyes of, or rather, in the interest of national security, sure, Edward Snowden did a bad thing. But in the eyes of like what is the right thing to do? Not to sound like a lib, but what is the right thing to do? But like, what's the right thing to do? Tell American citizens that their government is spying on them. That's the right thing to do, honestly. Right? And it's crazy that like something like that now you would hear and be like, uh-huh. Like it's crazy to hear, and it's not even that long ago that all of this happened. It was during Obama's administration that these documents came out. And it was a bombshell then. It was an explosive piece of information. But now something like that, you're like, huh? So, like, not a disgrace, though. And I originally wrote Roman Polanski. The guy's not even fucking American. He just lived here. He's Polish. Okay. Then you think about Tiger Woods. My brain is going sports figures. I'm thinking, what, Tiger Woods? Maybe. But by now, 90% of the people have to love him. He won the Masters a couple years ago, and it fucking ruled. It's too late. He already rehabilitated his image. Tiger Woods is awesome again. He fucking rules. So, I don't know. Outside of that, Oscar Pistorius? Not enough people know. And even if they did, is the guy American? Wait, where was Oscar Pistorius born? He's born in fucking South Africa. So not him. All right, so let's get to it. Lance Armstrong? I think maybe we're getting somewhere. You want to talk about national disgraces. I think we're getting somewhere. Live strong guy. Guys like, I beat cancer. I only have one testicle. And then it turns out he was doping the whole time. He's on drugs. He was on drugs. And I would like to put Barry Bonds because but you put a guy like Barry Bonds, you put Sammy Sosa, you put Mark McGwire, now people actually hate Alex Rodriguez, but A, I don't think he's American, and B, he's not nobody cares enough. But Barry Bonds, Pete Rose, baseball would like you to think that he's a disgrace, but the truth is, most people by now think that baseball needs to stop being so harsh on him. By now, isn't that sort of the soft take, is like, let's chill on our guy, Pete Rose? But then in a vacuum, you're like, when you zoom out, you're like, oh, I guess he did gamble on his own games. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Lance Armstrong. Yeah, he's probably on the list. How about Orenthal James Simpson? Are we overthinking this? Let's just put OJ on the list. I get to draft 2 disgraces. Let's just pencil in OJ Simpson. You go back and... man, let me tell you something. I finally got to use this channel, this show, for its intended purposes the other day, for the first time, where I thought about something and was like, you know what? I wanted to know a specific thing that I was thinking about at the time that thing happened, and it was OJ's death. And I thought to myself, dude, you recorded a video 15 minutes after you learned that he was dead. I was like, if you want to know what you were thinking as soon as he died, what your first reaction to was, go watch the video. And that's what these are for. It's a time capsule for me and my son. Like, hey, I've explained this to you guys before, but I just finally got to do that. I finally got to use this like digital catalog, this library that I'm creating for all of us here. I finally got to use it for its intended purposes the other day. It felt cool. But it was about OJ. I wanted to see, like, what was I saying when he died? Like, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I was really fucked up over that. Because I didn't have anything planned. I didn't know he was sick. I didn't even know he was sick. Nobody did, right? And it's commonplace these days. People have almost taken a step back on social media, and they get diagnosed with these terminal illnesses. You think about the Chadwick Bosemans and the OJs of the world. It's sort of 2 opposite ends of the spectrum there, but you know what I mean. And so I thought he was going to live forever. I thought he and like Henry Kissinger were going to live to be 110 years old. And that it really is the worst people that get to live the longest. And then he just fucking died. And I had nothing. I was completely blindsided by it. So, but he is on the list. Bill Cosby? Probably Bill Cosby. You go your whole life thinking about Bill Cosby as like America's uncle. It's like America's grandpa. For some people, America's dad. I mean, the guy, we talked about Alex Trebek transcending generations and how much he meant to so many different people spanning so many different years. Bill Cosby was that same way, for, you know what I mean? And I remember how old I was the first time. What's the name of the special where he's got is it red behind him? But there's the jokes about like farting and like blaming it on like imaginary animals and shit. Oh, what's that elephant over there? Chocolate cake. There's a bit about chocolate cake and his little, I think his kid. I remember being like 10 and watching Bill Cosby stand up and being like, this is the funniest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe how funny this is. Like it was so warm. It was so warm, and he was so disarming and inviting as a guy. And then he raped 54 women. And, you know, man, I remember being in high school and it affecting me and being like, what? Like, this isn't real. What are they doing to my guy, Bill? And, yeah, he definitely did that shit. So, disgraces? Look, man, there's been a lot of shit in the last, I mean, at this point, the Bill Cosby thing started unraveling like 10 years ago. That's how long it's been. Like, man, yeah, like 9 or 10 years ago. There have been a lot of people since then who have been put away. And so it's easy for it to kind of get lost in the fold and for you to forget how fucking crazy it was when we found out that Bill Cosby sexually assaulted over 50 women. Huh? And you can hear that number and be like, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it was even crazier when you woke up one day and you're like, wow, 6 women just accused Bill Cosby of rape? What? And then 3 days later, 19 more. What? And you just like keep doing that until you get to north of 60? Bill Cosby? It was just crazy. I'll never forget how crazy that was. He's up there. So who's the last one? Well, it's a layup. We've tried not to do politicians here, but if we're overthinking this shit, it's Jeffrey Epstein. Huh? I've really tried to entertain all of these in like a real like thought exercising way. I don't need to with this, but I don't think Jeffrey Epstein belongs on this list as an American disgrace because he wasn't held in regard. Because what was the criteria here, Greg, that I think that you nailed? A or B list celebrity, right there. Nobody knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. Liked by at least 90% of people. By all accounts, people did like him and Ghislaine. Embodies generally, I guess for this instance, American values. Sexually assaulting children and blackmailing politicians. Does that quantify the average American value? I don't think so. Yeah, no, he's just not famous enough. People didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I mean? He can't be on here. So we're just going to draft OJ and Bill Cosby. Yeah, we'll do OJ. Lance Armstrong I kind of undersold that. We're going to do OJ and Bill Cosby. Yeah, we're just going to do that. Okay. All right. So what's the team here? The team here was two living was Tom Hanks and Will Ferrell, and two dead was Norm Macdonald and Bob Ross for my grandma. The movie was Forrest Gump, and then the two disgraces that we drafted were, this is so bad, O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby. How did we do? Hey, speaking of which, folks, before we sign off on today's program, the Premier League is back. I had a lot of fun watching it this weekend. I got to tell you, though, Tim Howard might be bad at TV. Is he not good at TV? Oh, I'm the one who lately I've been sneaky talking about him a lot. And I'm like, dude, wherever the match of the week is, fuck the match of the week. He's going around the country every day. He's going somewhere else every single day. I'm watching him the other day. 2 days ago, he's in West Ham. And then this morning, he's in London for the Chelsea match against Man City. And let me say this. Okay, so I'm watching Man City and Chelsea, and I'm watching Chelsea get no fucking whistle, getting mauled for upwards of 110 minutes, getting absolutely mauled. And then you're like, such is life, because Man City, it's what, six top flight titles in the last 7 years, and 4 in a row. Here's my question about Haaland. Is he not just kind of like dumb? Because everything that I understand about him is he's like a generational goal scorer. But he's just like Gronk. He's just Rob Gronkowski. All he does is like stand around and like kick the ball. And I don't mean that in the sense that, so he fucking plays the sport. No, I mean very literally Haaland will just sit in the box and just like wait for the ball to show, and then he just kicks it. He doesn't get off more than like 2 touches. He doesn't touch the ball. He just fucking shoots it. And it usually goes in, by the way. He's just like big and like oafy. He's just like, I'm just like, what do you do? And he just like, teeters on the back line and like hovers as close to the back defender's shoulder as he can just to like get he's just like a big fucking guy. He's just a big guy, but he just like doesn't do anything other than just like kick the ball. Oh, okay. So they're great. That was fun to watch. What else did I watch? I watched a little bit of, it's not really, I was able to keep up with all the action because of damn Goal Rush. I gotta tell you, this red zone, Goal Rush style of television, everything needs to be this way. Give me all of I don't care what the fuck it is. I don't care what it is. The news needs to be this way. News networks need to develop new programming where it's like 15 killed in strike in Gaza, and then new art center opened up in Paris. Democratic National Convention, a bomb threat called in. The Knicks offer Yabusele, or fuck, it was the Sixers that offered Yabusele a contract. That's what I meant to talk about at the beginning. Fuck, is that Yabusele got a contract. But I was really just on a roll. We're talking about the Premier League, so I got to stay with it. So sorry about that. Yabusele actually got an NBA contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Cannot believe it. Good for that dude. That's what that run was for. And really put it all on the line for France, and it paid off. And there's a lot of weird shit about his buyout with Real Madrid. And so he's like, but in NBA, so it's the buyout that it's like $2.5 million, maybe like 2.6. But NBA teams are only allowed to cover up to 850,000. So like he's getting fucked a little bit, but he's getting a chance in the NBA. So okay, whatever. Well, hey, speaking of getting fucked by transfers, so Leicester is overspent on like really shitty transfers, and I have kind of set the stage a little bit, but why don't I continue to do it? The day that this episode is releasing, hopefully the day that a lot of you are listening to this, Monday, the 19th, Leicester City is opening their Premier League season against Tottenham. Now, this is a big deal for me. This is a big deal. I do not like Tottenham. I hate them. They also have my new arch nemesis, James Maddison. This is also a big deal because it's Leicester's first game back in the Premier League since 2 years ago when they were eliminated on the final day of the regular season. And they won the championship last year. They're back. They got a new coach. They got injuries. I'm excited. I'm like real life excited. Except that Leicester's not going to be very good this year, but I want to beat the shit out of Tottenham. I can't promise you that we're going to do much coverage on however the match goes on Friday's episode, because with that much time passing, it's just not going to be in my brain. Because the truth is, I don't have that much to say about a lot of these games. I just have fun watching them. That's all that it is. But please think about me during this. I'm real life excited to watch Leicester play Tottenham tomorrow afternoon, Monday. Folks, maybe check the score. Check what time it is. It's happening at 3:00 Eastern time. So, okay, folks, what else do I got for you? Let me do a quick little check of my notes. Yabusele getting an NBA contract. Maybe if he hits some stuff from the line, because he's basically like a French Ben Wallace. And during the run with France, he just kept drawing and ones. Like really like big time crowd energizing and ones. And that's why I kept saying he's like Thanasis, but like if Thanasis could actually hoop. Yeah, he's had a 1-year deal for $2.5 million. It's just fun. He's just fun. Although it gets a little bit weird. You have Embiid and you have Yabusele, but you also have Andre Drummond now. So you're like, whoops. You're like, so how's this supposed to work? Whoops. So, okay. Hey, and here's another thing maybe I should have mentioned at the beginning when I was talking about merch. I included merch for something that isn't out yet. Data leak. And in a previous video that I uploaded for one of the songs, I'm not so sure I love it. At the end of the video, I did a very, very brief teaser for Data Leak. I'm still figuring out what it is. So I don't have that much to sell to you guys. I suppose I could say that it's in production if that's the way that I want to phrase it. But in a vacuum, I'm really interested in the idea of experiencing something where it's like the visual representation of flipping channels on the radio and toying with your attention span in a way. And I have all of these little quick bites, all of these quick little 30 to 60 second snippets of songs. And how abruptly can I, swing you around for these next 15 minutes? And how many different places can we go? Visually, how many different places can we go? And I'm just trying to figure out what that's going to very literally look like. Because a lot of the music for it is done. And you guys know how much I love the unrefined and the just rawness and authenticity. And so a lot of these songs are not perfect. Vocally, they're not perfect. Structurally, they're not perfect. The mixes on them aren't perfect. But it'll all make... I hope, at least, that it'll all make sense and that it'll all be cohesive. So, yes. But before I've even. And it was hard for me to. I've wanted to bring this up, but I just don't want to bring it all up and then just not fucking commit to it, because it's a time thing right now is all that it is. It's just a time thing. It's really hard to film shit when I'm like just being a dad all day. You know what I mean? And then in the opportunities where I have to not be a dad, well, I'm always a dad first, but you know what I mean, where I can sort of backseat and like kind of do my own thing for a little bit. I just want to fucking chill. I just want to chill, bro. I just want to play some college football 25, win some natties. I made a dynasty. I started a new dynasty with Alaska Team Builder, and then it's bullshit. I spent like 25 years in a dynasty where the goal of the dynasty that I had set was to just get hired as the Michigan State's head coach. That was like my job. Instead of doing Road to Glory, I was doing Road to East Lansing. That's what I made up in my head. After 25 plus years, they just like were never going to offer me the job. At that point, I realized they were just never going to offer me the job. So I just stopped doing it, and that sucked. But I fucking start with Alaska. I get into year 6. I'm raising this program up from the ashes. And who offers me a job? What? So I just abandoned ship. I go, sorry, Alaska. Like, you're welcome for the national championship. I did get them one. But then all right. In an alternate universe, hey, I got to Michigan State. So, okay. Football is super almost back. I didn't even watch the Chiefs and the Lions game. I didn't even watch it. I think I maybe was just I don't know. My you guys know how my moods are. My moods are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you gotta get. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. Ice cream. Why did I do that? Okay, hey, if you're listening to this on Spotify, be sure to rate 5 stars. I don't know how the hell comments work on there, folks. I keep approving all of them that you guys are leaving. I don't know where to see them, though, in the actual interface. On both my desktop and on my phone, I have no idea where you guys are even fucking leaving them, by the way. Not even, forget seeing them. Where are you leaving them? I haven't been able to, but I'm approving all of them. So, all right, shout out to the Spotify listeners. Hope you guys have liked the merch. I say I hope you guys have liked it. I can see that you guys are liking it. Oh, ho, ho. But seriously, thank you. The response has been very nice. It's made me feel very confident in the decision to finally do it, actually. So I genuinely appreciate all of you for that. So, okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Nice little comment for the algoritmo. Keep primary check in check. Did I say primary? What the fuck did I just say? Did I say keep primary check in check? Keep primary control in check. See, it's fucking with me right now. I just got cyber attacked by primary control. My brain just got fucking EMP'd. It's short now. I will catch you guys in the next one.